They say scars make you stronger, but mine made me a target. My boss looked me in the eye in front of the entire office and joked that my face was too scary for clients. Everyone laughed. I stood frozen, but what he didn't know was that I had been collecting every dirty secret, every crime he committed, and that scar he mocked would be the weapon that destroyed him. I never cared about the scar on my face until the day my boss turned it into a weapon against me. I got it years ago in an accident when I swerved my car to save a kid who ran into the road. The metal tore into my skin and left me with a mark running from my temple to my jaw, a reminder of the day I almost lost everything, but to me it was proof that I had protected someone, that my pain had meaning. I wore it proudly until the day my boss decided to humiliate me in front of the whole office. It was Monday morning. The team gathered in the conference room, coffee cups half empty, my boss pacing with his usual fake smile. He looked at me and suddenly smirked, saying, "Maybe we should hide your face in the back so you don't scare the clients." Laughter rippled across the room, even though no one really thought it was funny. My ears burned, my jaw clenched, my chest tightened. I wanted to say something, but I froze, because that's what bullies do, they steal your words. But that night I didn't sleep. Instead I replayed every insult, every smirk, every whispered comment he had thrown at me. Over the months he had power over me because he was my boss, but I knew something he didn't. He was corrupt, sloppy, greedy, and I had proof. I'd been collecting it quietly for months. The fake invoices, the shady contracts, the expenses he billed to the company card. I never planned to use them until now. The next morning I walked into work not with shame but with fire in my chest. I kept my head down, pretending nothing was wrong while slipping the files into a sealed folder. By noon I was sitting in HR's office across from the director, their brows furrowed as I laid out the evidence. My voice shook at first, but then it grew steady, stronger. Every page I turned, the more their eyes widened. By the time I was done they looked at me differently, not like a victim but like a man holding dynamite. The next 48 hours were chaos. My boss was called into meetings, his face pale, his swagger gone. The office buzzed with rumors. No one knew what was happening until the email came, company-wide announcement effective immediately. He was terminated for misconduct. My heart raced as I read it, a weight lifting off my chest. But what happened next nearly made me fall out of my chair. The director called me and shook my hand and said, "We need someone to step into leadership immediately, and based on your record and bravery, we think you're the right person." Overnight the man who mocked my scar was gone, and I was sitting at his desk, his nameplate ripped off, mine slid in its place. The office stared at me with wide eyes, some in shock, some in admiration. I didn't gloat, I didn't laugh, I simply smiled, because the scar he thought made me weak was the very thing that gave me strength. It reminded me every day that I survived, that I fought back, and now I had his job, his respect, and his downfall was complete. So when he tried to break me with a scar, he ended up giving me the power to write my own story.